Let's say you want to manage and track multiple programs, but at a very, very high level. So you can enter into the description what your program names are, and I have a few that are blocked out that I've selected no on the far right because they were canceled. I've selected X across the board. The version number I used as the customer name. I use the notes as a description, and if you scroll across to the right, you'll see here I've selected no because those two were canceled. And back to the left, I'm going to look at the notes. Program was canceled and not awarded. So the one thing I want to do is enter in the total contract value in the commit column. These are the total values, all inclusive of the value for each individual program across. So for instance, P005 is worth 500K. That's in the year of 2019, and you'll see I also selected 2019, 005 and 2018. These two were canceled, and I entered in the values. So what I also want to do is select this value, include burden. There's a caution note here. So I want to select no, and now it will allow me to track the totals without any extra burden because all of these totals are all inclusive. Now, I happen to select all of these as program, so I can scroll to the right, and I'm going to look at program in 2018 and 2019. Recall, there's a P5 in 2018 and 2019. So I can now look at my forecast of the values of my contracts, either by individually, or I can go to the print summary, and if I've selected materials and labor correctly, it'll also show that. Now let's assume I have not had different entries for material versus labor, so I will enter everything as internal labor, and this does not affect the calculations, it just shows the total in the reports. So I'm going to switch all of these to labor internal. Even though this is kind of a misnomer, but if I go to my print summary, now it shows everything together. You're not really separating labor versus material, it's just showing all the numbers together, and then all of the reports below follow based on your selections. Back to the data entry, and you can also, if one happens to be P5, you can also filter. Well, there seems to be a filter because I can see that. Unfilter all rows. Here's the grand total. Let's say I want to filter on P5. I deselect all and select only my P5 values, P5, regardless of the year. And now I'm looking at the P5s. That again is reflected in my reports for 2018 and 2019 as selected. Now I can see there's some labor, all's labor, and here's my 5,000 and the 500K, 4.2 million. Go to print summary, and again there is your total. I will unfilter all rows.